Yeah, good.
Which tool do you use for getting parameters?
That's Google Analytics. So yeah, basically I have a Java library that they supply, and it hooks right into Android and allows you to see analytics for that application. So let's see. I'll just see if I can pull that up real quick. But it gives you more information than you'll ever be willing to look at, to be honest. But the nice thing about it is that you can get like at least this day-by-day snapshot of everything you're doing. So for example, how about here? So this gives you kind of, my users have been dropping off and then skyrocketing for whatever reason, right? And then this is the number of people that hit today. So 515 people since this morning have played the game. So actually this is Friday, so yesterday. But you can basically filter on whatever. You can get all kinds of statistics and analytics.
That's free.
Free, yeah. And so Google asks you whether or not you want to share your results, either publicly or with Google, and you just say yes or no. So it's really kind of sweet. They do this for iOS and Android, and you can hook that into websites and things like that. So you'd be able to see this from many perspectives just by doing either a post to their server or whatever. But you can, but they have libraries built for iOS.
What was the name of that library for the analytics?
It's just Google Analytics. It's if you go to analytics.google.com, they have the two libraries there. So yeah, it's and like with Android, I actually obfuscate all of my libraries. So analytics, ads, everything are all obfuscated automatically. So even when people are going in trying to find out what's the difference between my game and analytics, which is a much larger code base, they'll be able to see, like, hey, that will help them, help confuse them, so you can prevent them from stealing stuff from you, things like that. Okay, so monetizing is probably an interesting topic for people. There are a number of different things that you can do to monetize your app. The top of which for Android are ads. People on iOS don't like, or people that are on iOS typically don't like ads. People on Android like ads. People on iOS typically are okay with paying 99 cents for an app. People on Android are highly against paying 99 cents for an app. And so I've put microtransactions in my apps charging 99 cents for extra levels after they've gotten paid for play free levels. And I've gotten many comments like, 99 cents, oh my God! So yeah, so you got to be aware of what platform you're kind of dealing with. If you want to charge people for a one-shot transaction, or if you want to get like a consistent small revenue stream that will last long after you stop worrying about development for the game, they're both interesting things to look at. Android has gotten a little saturated, and with that comes lower prices on ad click, microtransactions, in-game purchases. So just extra level sets, or potions or something like that if you're making an RPG. But the idea is that you do want to consider something for making money. There are a lot of people that release games for fun and then just release it out there, but it's probably more motivating if there's a dollar sign attached to it. So those are some interesting things that you can get from that. But these methodologies are in-depth explained.
Yeah, so for you in the Android market, do you get more revenue from leveling up or from ads?
From ads, by far, yeah. So adding the levels with the microtransactions, people are appalled at. So I've had to actually add many more free levels and reduce the amount of levels that you get for a paid price, and re-release it, and that's actually been much more successful because I don't get people getting mad and they actually play the game for a longer time with ads. Then I remove the ads after they pay for the extra levels. So in Android, you'll most likely see a better result with, in my opinion, of course. a better result using ads. Now on iOS, I've had friends that develop for iOS and things like that. They've obviously seen a better result in selling the applications for a one-shot price range. Although I've seen many iOS apps, and I'm sure everybody else here has too, that charge you once and then all of a sudden have some other microtransaction that will charge you again and again, so, depending on different features and functionalities that you want. So that's also an option. You can just overcharge people until they leave. There are many ways to go about it. Yeah.
Is there like a one-shop stop for ads, or how does that work?
Yeah, so there are, in certain cases. Of course, those don't pay as much usually as upstarts that want to get a lot of user base before they reduce the price of their ads. But basically, what happens is a lot of people go to Google, and Google bought out this company called Admob. And so now for phones, advertising no longer goes through AdSense, but it goes through Admob. And Google just shut down AdSense for phones recently. So you'll only be seeing Admob ads out there now. They'll still supply the ad, but they won't pay you for it. So basically, I actually went through a little thing where I updated 2 or 3 of my apps to stop using AdSense ads and move over to Admob, which seemed to pay less than the AdSense ads. And I think that's because the Android market is so saturated right now. But you'll see variations in prices. They say on their site that they'll get really mad at you and ban you if you tell them what the prices are. So yes, I won't. But the idea is that it's a varying market. During Christmas time, they skyrocket, and during January, February, they're just like really low. And so you'll see like this kind of fluctuation, and the same thing with like YouTube ads and things like that. But there's a lot to learn about that. There are a lot of subtleties to advertising in general. So the big thing about releasing a game like this is that you're going to go through so much like little things, so many little things that are just going to catch you off guard moment after moment. I'm trying to just spill them out like right here about that stuff, so people can be successful. But this is like a really I went through a lot of difficulties with getting like ads working, paying well, whether you show them at the right time, in between levels and things like that. Like the time that people see ads on one of my apps, it's like a split second because they hit next level right away. So having like a money counter or something like a money counter, like increasing for like 3 seconds would be a much smarter choice if I had done that at the beginning. And so the idea would be to show ads kind of during transition processes. I know, for example, Angry Birds, when you launch the bird over, and they had no time in the middle to show ads. But if you look at Angry Birds on Android, you'll notice that they do something that's like just on the line of legal/not legal to Admob. What they do is after you launch the bird, as the camera's panning back slowly to the slingshot, they show the ad. So that's during gameplay, so that's against the rules in Admob, but Google still lets them do it, and people complain about it a lot. So it's during those long transitions that people, that you're allowed to show those ads, never when the user's actually touching the screen. So those are like little things that you'll have to work around and figure out what you need to do in those cases.
One of the apps that I've seen has a thing where it starts to come up with the ad, and then at the bottom there's a skip.
Oh yeah, skip the ads, yeah.
If you hit that, do you still get paid even though people
No.
are skipping it?
Yeah, so people skip it, you don't get paid. And so that's the idea, is that they want to generate a sale or something. If people aren't making money, then it's useless for them to be promoting ads, right? And so the whole idea is that you want to be able to push somebody to buy something so that the ad is more successful for that person, whoever is advertising, because then they'll pay more for advertising. Like that's the whole, you want to keep the market as saturated with people advertising as possible, and not the other way around with advertisers, because right now, 250 million devices out there, by the number of people that were originally advertising are about the same because of the current market, and then the number of people advertising has grown exponentially because developers have been doing it. So I'm helping all of you saturate this market even more. You're welcome. But basically, you're gonna see stuff like skip this ad or things because they want to prevent you from making the money if they're not gonna generate a sale. So if they're doing a car ad, they'll want you to skip it right away if you're not interested in that car. But if somebody's like, oh, I've been waiting for that car to be, come out, click on it, it makes sense to give you the benefit. So it's definitely, but those video ads are really strange because it has to show the whole video for it to really do anything for you. Because it's more like a commercial.
Are you tracking based or click based?
Click-based. So Google does everything click-based now. They don't do the impression-based anymore. And I think the reason for that was because if you go to the Admob website, it's over 1 trillion impressions that they've served in the last however much time. So really, like, trillions of impressions mean that they can't do it by impression. There's no way. It has to be by click. And the value by click has been going down. As the economy picks back up, it'll probably go up. Because there are wide ranges. I've seen from dollars per click to cents per click. So it's really, it's really big variable there. But the nice thing about this is you can constantly get ad revenue. I stopped working on squids years ago, like our first game. I stopped working on it. I haven't touched it since then except to update the ads in it. And it's been making money since day one, the same amount of money consistently all the way to today. So that's a big thing to think about, is that it's a constant stream of revenue and things like that. So if you're looking to make money off of it and just pocket change if you like, then it's a really nice way to just constantly have some other revenue streams.
Do you have any control over the ads that get shown?
You do. You can limit ads from being shown, so you can say, I don't want this ad being shown here. So like a lot of them contain religious ads, for churches and things like that. And some of them contain, explicit ads, like adult ads and things like that. So you have control of kind of like what you want to show. You can even limit it to prevent sport ads from like, football ads from showing or something like that. So you have really granular control over it. Typically they just want to spill everything they have on you because they want to get rid of that revenue because Google's making a ton of money supplying those ads to you. And then you can just limit how many you want to.
Well, obviously, if you're developing a kids game.
Yeah, you want to limit, so by default the explicit ads are limited and things like that. So, but yeah,